Honestly, I think both you guys need to chill the fuck out right now. I'm not even playing.
Okay.
I will fuck shit up if I have to. But you two are going to stay right fucking here until you patch things up. You understand? So, Mr. President, you go first. What would you like to say to Elon?
Elon, I said some things that were out of line, and I'm genuinely sorry. I want you to know I love you like a son. I mean, you do need to work harder on not tweeting crazy shit and pushing away people who love you, but I want you to know I love you, and I want to be your friend again. What do you say?
We'll work harder.
We'll work harder.
Did we just become best friends?
Honestly, I think both you guys.
Oh, there's so many of these great Trump Musk memes. I have like 5 of them. I was like, I don't know which one to go with. But that I think was my favorite one. That was my favorite one. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Viewers Discretion. I am yours, Joe Neerman, aka also known as Good Lawgic. Crazy times going on in California. Also, they say in New York, but New York is getting a lot less coverage, so our fixation is on California. Also, a little birdie tells me, meaning my inside hunch says, that Gavin Newsom has aspirations of being the leader of the free world in 2028. And every opportunity we have to remind the world just what a walking disaster zone floats around this man is a very important. I think it's a public service. So I think that it's incumbent upon me as a public service announcement to call great attention to the out of control mess, chaos that is just circling California. Oh my God, what a mess. What do I mean by what a mess? I mean stuff like this.
You know, let's hope that no one is hurt and no one is injured and it doesn't escalate from here. Look at the flag. Yeah, Guy, I see.
There it is.
Lunacy.
Mexican flag, and, you know.
Utter
lunacy. This is criminal activity that I hope is people are held accountable for. And I'm talking about the riots right here.
Where are the cops?
Yeah, where are they?
It's mostly peaceful. Mostly peaceful. Welcome, Jim's people. Jim just sent them just hurtling over here. Hurtling. I gave him his plug when I was in the war room on Friday. I was so close to forgetting. And I was like, oh my God, if I forget to do this, I'm going to have to like give people back hundreds of dollars. That's not good. So yeah, no, thank God I managed to get that out. And I also gave my props to you guys, the chat, which is awesome because you guys are awesome. Now I expect this to be a small stream, relatively small stream, probably short. If you're watching after the fact and you see that it's 4.5 hours long, know this, it was completely unanticipated when I started this stream that I would go as long as 4.5 hours. But I really think this might be just an hour. I just wanted to catch you all up to date on stuff as I'm learning about it. But California is burning. There's rioting going on against ICE. The first thing that was shared with me, I think probably came from Jim. Jim texted me and he's like, so there's like chaos going on in LA and New York. There's chaos going on. And I was like, really? Really? I'm sitting here trying to catch up on testimony from the Diddy trial. Really? Okay. All right. Well, there's chaos. And indeed, there is chaos. Lots of chaos. I'm just going to share with you something here. Let me just share with you. What I did was I actually said, hey, let me just see what's trending. You know the first thing I saw that was trending before I get to the links that was shared? First thing I saw that was trending was this right here. National Guard was trending. So I was like, let's see what we got under National Guard. Why is National Guard and possibly U.S. Marines being sent to L.A.? Because LAPD considers lighting vehicles on fire, throwing rocks at ICE and vehicles, and assaulting officers peaceful. As they wrote here, let's get this a little bigger for you. We'll make it a little bigger. This is from the LAPD. Today, demonstrations across the city of Los Angeles remain peaceful, and we commend all those who exercise their First Amendment rights responsibly. This is peaceful in LA. Oh, that's just another day in the park. The Los Angeles Police Department appreciates the cooperation of organizers, participants, and community partners who helped ensure public safety throughout the day. While today's events concluded without incident, the Los Angeles Police Department remains fully prepared to respond swiftly and appropriately to any potential acts of civil unrest. See, this is how you beget further unrest. When you basically throw a big white, you just start painting over everything with everything here is white, everything here is beautiful, beautiful. Get that big paintbrush out, just get massive rollers of just painting over everything as just being perfect. So, of course, they're going to do it again and push the envelope even further. That's what happens, you idiots. But that's what Mayor Karen Bass of LA and Governor Newsom of California, they can't predict that. They can't foresee that. Our commitment to safeguarding the rights, safety, and well-being of all Angelinos continues day and night. Okay, first and foremost, it should be safety is before rights. Okay, stop with your stupid. No. We will maintain a heightened readiness posture and remain ready to ensure the continued safety of our communities. You want to know what's going on? You want to know? This is the first thing. Let me share with you the first thing. I think Jim sent it to me, actually. Let me check real quick here. Check my messages. I think he sent me over here. Although when I try going to X, I try to go to X messages on my laptop, it just creates all sorts of issues. I do want to call attention to Brian Oldenkamp gifting 10 new members of the following. Welcome those of you who were brought in. Who did he bring in here? Following. Who'd you bring in here? Brian, bring in. I'm going to hit the bell for you. Jim, I'll send you a link. You can jump in here. I do have some links that were shared with me courtesy of my diggers and locals, because I have a diggers thing going on here also, but I'll send you a link because you're awesome. Did I miss? Yes, here they are, 10 people. Alex Gordon. Let me explain something to you about Alex Gordon, in case you're unaware. In or around 2014, Alex Gordon was it 2014 or was it even before that? Maybe it might have been long before that. Time is slipping away from me. But Alex Gordon was once the name of a huge prospect on the Kansas City Royals that I traded a ton away to get. Stupid, worst move. Oh my God. He never became quite what people were hoping he would be. But I assume this is a different Alex Gordon who's much cooler than that Alex Gordon. But yeah. Anyway, Alex Gordon, welcome to the following. As I call your name, any Alex or any other names, I'd be most obliged if you can just show a modicum of deference to Brian Oldenkamp for bringing you into the following, which is not at all a cult type of cults. And that includes not just Alex Gordon, but Victor Man 7777. I love ketchup. Carrie, Cindy Detour, Milena, New Age Rejects, Jacob Kedra, Anything Goes, and Linda. You're not listening, Linda. I hope you said thank you, Linda. I do think it's possible that when people don't say thank you, it's because they may not be here, like in the chat. I don't think you have to be in the chat to get gifted. I'm not sure how it works. But I was talking to Shia Eisman, who I saw is a friend of mine who was gifted the other night. And I was like, don't know. Like, he was telling me he once got gifted on some show he was not watching at the time. He just got an email saying, hey, you got gifted. And it's like, that's so dumb. They should give priority. It's random who they give it to. They should really give priority to folks who are watching, I would think. Let me send that link out to Jim Tells You. Let me send that link out. Where are you? It's this one? Is this the right one? This is the right one. Yeah. I don't want to send him to my locals chat. That would be stupid. Send him to this one. That would be. Oh, but if I do this, will locals see you? I think they will. Yeah. Let's see what I'm sharing on screen. So will they see you? They don't. I know they don't see when I pull up. That's an interesting question. We're gonna have to figure this out. We'll try figuring this out. Let's see what happens. All right. Well, first let me send him the link. Let me send him the link over here. What's the matter? Poor Lady Lawgic is a really bad case of poison ivy that she's been dealing with here. All right. X is being really annoying when I try going into my private messages. Like really annoying. I don't know what the heck is going on. Refresh. There it is. All right, I just sent him the link. He's sharing this. He's sharing this with me here. This is what he's sharing with me.
Separate location.
This is what he's sharing with me.
So this looks like this is a separate situation or separate location.
This
look at
ice
this.
coming out swinging.
Look at this. Look, they're shaking. Look. See what I'm saying? Look.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. Look at this.
Bum 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 bum
Yo, they're
bum.
coming out crazy. This is
Yeah,
live.
that's right.
Whoa. Look at this. Oh, they just dispersed the crowd quickly. Whoa. Look at this. This is crazy.
I see fireworks.
Oh my goodness. I saw this pop up on another feed. And I'm like, oh my God, what's happening here? They were all like going towards this garage. And look.
Oh no.
Holy smokes.
Oh, smokes.
Let's try to get this actual location. So this looks like this.
Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Speaking of which, J.H. Schwabach says, Joe, fire was given to us by God thousands of years ago. We in California share it freely in every community that we can. Ice is fire's enemy. We give fire. We're idiots. That's funny. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, J.H. Schwabach. I appreciate you greatly. That was pretty funny. All right. What do I have? So I was sharing with you. I'm going to run through some of the links that I got from my locals denizen, but I had this also here. That Barb Loves Alaska says, I've been watching live streamers on the ground in California since 10 a.m. this morning, starting with an ice raid at a chicken processing facility this morning in Plymouth, California. Now LA has their own riots. Where are the rooftop Koreans when we need them? Where are they? Where are the rooftop Koreans? We need the rooftop Koreans. Uzalian says, Joe, a couple questions. How long until they start using live bullets? We're probably ways away from that. Where are the loved? Oh, you see, where are the loved rooftop Koreans? Can we sign up to go and arrest the California governor? That's what we need to start having. That's what we need. You need to start arresting the political leaders. Yes. I think he's afraid he's going to get impeached and like convicted. That's the biggest rein on his on his going full authoritarian. Lord. Some more craziness ensuing. I did send you the link. I'm pretty sure I sent it to you. All right, so this I covered. But I was wanted to share with you, like, okay, so what else is going on is when you search National Guard. Skip the National Guard, bring in the rooftop South Koreans. Breaking, Trump is deploying the National Guard for 60 days. Oh, no, it's protect ICE personnel and assist federal agents per the White House. Yes! 2 months! That's what you get! 2 months! And don't think that we're limiting to 2,000. It's 2 months. This is huge. National Guard is now assisting the mass deportations in California. This is what we voted for. I don't remember that. I like how you left the vowel out of SHT, so it could really be read a lot of different ways. It could be the shot heard across the country, or it could be an I. Hey, Jeff, never for 2 months. Welcome, brother. Such idiots. It's really hard to take anyone wearing a keffiyeh seriously when they're chanting "shame on you," because frankly, you're a walking embarrassment. Secretary Hegseth just announced that the preparing to deploy Marines to the streets of LA. This was earlier. Marines at Camp Pendleton are on high alert if violence continues. So we might be going from National Guard to Marines. Nice. We do need the rooftop Koreans. And they did have the National Guard stand in front of the Capitol every day for over 5 months after January 6th. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with that. You guys set the parameters. During the LA ICE raids, a Mexican man shouts directly at FBI agents' faces, I will kill your mama. It got to the point where people in California are so emboldened, they threatened to murder FBI agents' mothers to their faces.
Go tell your mama how you proud of corralling people and taking them in. What crime did they make? What crime did they commit? Nothing. I'm sure you're proud.
Being here. That's the crime. Being here.
Look at that. This is brand new, motherfucker. So proud of standing so tall.
Just haul them into my courtroom. I'll afuera them. Do it. Haul them into my courtroom. Give me a courtroom. Make me administrative immigration judge. Haul them into my courtroom. I'll afuera them. Let's just do it. Let's do it. You and me, Donald. I sent in the wrong link. Really? How's that? I'll send them another link. Wait. Let me see this. Finding an X link that works. Oh gosh. I don't know how difficult this can be sometimes. X can be such a nuisance. It's really, I can never get to my direct messages. I gave you a YouTube link. That is what I did. All right, this should be it. I hope you end up in the right place. I hope you end up in the right place. It looks like you're going to end up in the right place. All right. This is what I should do. I should basic. There we go. There we go.
Hello.
There we go. Welcome, my brother. How are you?
I'm good.
Yes. Yes. So we got riots going on in the streets.
It's been insanity all day.
I think that this is good. It's a good thing. This is a necessary step because it basically just starts opening up. The more out of control they get, it starts opening up for a freer hand to actually remove people. Because it's like, okay, look, we need to take control of the situation here. This was exactly what Trump needed. This was exactly what he needed. And it's like, okay, there you go. Thank you. Now I need to send in thousands more people. We can do this way more efficiently. Were you the one who sent me a link of the rocks being thrown? You did,
There's an
right?
echo right now. I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong. Because it's me.
I'll bounce you out. Should I bounce you out?
I'll go out. Come back again.
What are you blaming me? Everyone's blaming me. Everyone just loves to blame. Let's blame. Is it because I'm black? Is that why? It's racism. All right. Meanwhile, breaking Marines at Camp Pendleton and put on standby and could be activated to assist the National Guard restoring order in California. But Trump has not invoked the Insurrection Act under 10 U.S.C. Section 253. Instead, he invoked 10 U.S.C. 12406 to deploy the National Guard for purpose of assisting DHS to execute the laws of the United States. Here's the text. The United States or any other commonwealth or possession is invaded or is in danger of invasion by a foreign nation, or there's a rebellion or danger of rebellion against the authority of the government of the United States, or the president unable with regular forces to execute the laws of the United States. The president may call into federal service members and units of the National Guard of any state in such numbers as he considers necessary to repel the invasion, suppress the rebellion, or execute those laws. Orders for those purposes shall be issued through the governors of the states, or in the case of the D.C., through the commanding general of the National Guard. There you go. All right. Is the echo
still echoing?
I don't know. It sounds like you're sounds a little echoey to me, but I don't know if I'm echoing. I'm asking the chat. Chat, tell us, how is the echo? Yes, it's still echoing. Bad.
How about now?
I think.
Hello?
Yeah.
All right. I'll be back.
Okay. All right. Okay. It could be because I have two StreamYards. I've got one StreamYard. It could be that. I might need to end my local stream. Might have to. I think I have to end it there. That's what I think he's echoing because I think I'm sending out to two different places. So I think that's what's happening. It's of course. Obviously, it's Joe's fault. Yeah, I think I need to end locals. I love you guys, but I think I need to do that. Yeah, I'm gonna close that down. All right, let me close that out. So if I end this is locals. And that stream there. I can probably focus a little better. You guys were great. Don't get me wrong. You were great. I think now if Jim comes back, it'll be better. Come back, Jim. Come back. So I think it's going to be fine now. All right. Where are we at here? Okay. So I was showing you, I think I was busy showing you the different things that were coming on. I'm going to run through some more of what they gave me here. I think if you come back now, it's going to be fine, Jim. I don't think you need to worry about it anymore. There's not still an echo. There's not an echo right now. Do I have to? All right.
Is this
So
going to
now-
echo?
I don't. You hear echo?
Yes. I hear myself.
Tika's saying, okay, YouTube is hearing an echo.
Hello?
Do you have StreamYard open in two places?
No.
I don't know.
Hold on. That's worse.
Yeah, we'll try to figure this out. Like,
I'm gonna jump out. I don't want to screw your stream.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, here we go. Anyhow, moving right along. So, this is the statement from Mayor Karen Bass. Mayor Karen Bass coming out to give us this. This is a difficult time for our city. As we recover from an unprecedented natural disaster, many in our community are feeling fear following recent federal immigration enforcement actions against LA County. What about people feeling fear from those illegal immigrants? Reports of unrest outside the city, including impoundments, are deeply concerning. Well, why aren't you putting that to bed, idiot? We've been in direct contact with officials in D.C. and are working closely with law enforcement to find the best path forward. How about arresting people? Everyone has the right to peacefully protest, but let me be clear. Violence and destruction are unacceptable, and those responsible will be held accountable. Well, your LAPD was saying that there was no violence, idiot. Don't even pretend you care about law and order, you two-faced commie piece of crap, according to James Woods. J.D. Vance says, one of the main technical issues in the immigration judicial battles is whether Biden's border crisis counts as an invasion. Well, let's see what we got here. So now we have foreign nationals with no legal right to be in the country, waving foreign flags and assaulting law enforcement. If only we had a good word for that. ALX is reporting, in recent days, violent mobs have attacked ICE officers and federal law enforcement agents carrying out basic deportation operations in LA, California. These operations are essential to halting and reversing the invasion of illegal criminals into the United States. In the wake of this violence, California's feckless Democrat leaders have completely abdicated their responsibility to protect their citizens. That is why President Trump has signed a presidential memorandum deploying 2,000 National Guardsmen to address the lawlessness that has been allowed to fester. The Trump administration has a zero-tolerance policy. Look, he dealt with the Chaz zone. Remember that in 2020 during the Floyd riots? I don't think he's going to put up with it again. Back then, he had to worry about winning an election, right? That all happened in summer 2020. It was only a couple of months before November. He had to worry about an election. So he had to, I think he probably showed more restraint than he wanted to, than he would have, his inclination likely was. His inclination was probably just to kibosh it all, but had to have fears about the impact that could have on his re-election aspirations. Obviously, that's no longer a concern for President Trump. So he has a bit of a freer hand to actually just stomp on them. That is why President Trump is signing a presidential memorandum deploying 2,000 National Guardsmen to address the lawlessness. The Trump administration has a zero-tolerance policy for criminal behavior and violence, especially when that violence is aimed at law enforcement officers trying to do their jobs. These criminals will be arrested and swiftly brought to justice. The commander-in-chief will ensure the laws of the United States are executed fully and completely, which is why we voted him in. The last time the Insurrection Act was revoked was in Los Angeles in 1992. Who remembers? I don't. It was probably after the Rodney King incident, after the Rodney King trial. Rioters now launching explosives at ICE detention facility in LA in an attempt to break in. Let's check this out. Arrest these people too. Arrest them too.
Shooting, yo, go, 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 go.
Yeah, that's in LA. This is what CNN calls peaceful. They call this peaceful, CNN. Fiery, but mostly peaceful riots in LA. It's unbelievable. Federal government is moving. This is Governor Newsom saying the federal government is moving. Jim's back. Jim's back. I think he thinks he's fixed this situation. Let's see if he's fixed it.
Hello?
Hello.
All right. I don't know. I reset my computer.
I don't know.
I reset my broadcaster.
It could be something about the way I'm streaming now. I closed down locals trying to fix things up for you here. I closed that whole StreamYard down. I don't know how to do this.
All right, that's all right.
All right.
It's got to be. I'm in two StreamYards somewhere.
I don't know. Later, brother. All right. Yeah. So Governor Newsom streaming out there. Federal government is moving to take over the California National Guard and deploy 2,000 soldiers. This move is purposefully inflammatory. Will only escalate tensions. Yeah, that's true. It could be to some degree purposefully inflammatory because it just gives that much more of a basis to bring in more guards and more deportations. That's what I'm saying. They're playing right into Trump's hands because this will enable him now to actually have the manpower necessary to remove millions of people. This is what you need. What I'm saying is no one should be complaining about this. I pray that everyone remains safe. That's 100%. I pray everyone remains safe. But I'll tell you that you need more manpower if you want to remove people. You want to remove 1 million people? How many people you need to do this? It's not 1 million. It's like 20 million. You need more manpower. So that's why he has the big, beautiful bill to bring in more ICE agents, more planes, more buses, more transport, more everything to try and equip ICE to get rid of them. And you're going to need more guards also because you got idiots who are sitting here screaming about abuelos. So, yeah. So this is the wrong mission. Erode public trust. You've eroded your welcome, idiot. Harmeet said, "This is on you, Governor. It's a shame California openly defies federal law and sides with illegal aliens, including hardened criminals." God bless Harmeet. Against its own citizens. Indeed. Ukraine was a breadbasket. California is a basket case, both heading to hell in a handbasket. This is true. Malcolm, we all know who defended the federal government invoking 10 U.S.C. 12406. I don't even need to say his name. We all know the answer is a certain ace. He wouldn't be empowered to do that. Joe, love your tie. Thank you. Can you show it off and tell me where I can get one? Do you have any favorite fashionable ties? I like dark colors. Thank you, Stephen. This was I'm gonna tell you a little known secret, which Lady Lawgic, I used to be spending like, I don't know, $20-$30 a tie. And Lady Lawgic was like, you can get like, you can go to like Temu and like, what's the other one? What? Who? AliExpress. And I'll just browse for ties. I'll be like, oh, that looks okay. China. Yeah, basically China. It's made in China. Yeah, so some poor little Asian kid was probably working on this with his or her little fingers. And you need the little fingers to do the fine stitch work. So there you go. You can either cry about it or laugh about it. So I'd rather laugh. But this says it all. Enough is enough from James Woods. Who's behind the anti-ICE riots in LA? We should take a moment to focus on this. This is from Data Republican, saying hundreds took to the streets this weekend, blocking roads, attacking federal officers, even burning flags. And we're going to look at some video of that shortly. But this wasn't spontaneous outrage. This was organized, funded, coordinated. Here's a breakdown of the groups, the money, and the people pulling the strings. Patience is as I assemble the thread and verify information in real time. A number of NGOs have been implicated in this. Foremost is Coalition for Humane Immigration Rights, CHRLA. And the photos of signs show they were printed by PSLWEB, Party for Socialism and Liberation. Our community is under attack and terrorized, Angelica Salas, executive director of CHRLA, told a crowd of protesters. These are workers. These are fathers. These are mothers. CHRLA has the EIN of 954421521. Most of its private funded appears to be from DAFs, which are the hardest to trace. However, 34 million of its reported 45 million in revenue are from government grants. That's right. This was all put in place by Biden. In the most recent year, CHRLA jumped from 12 million to 34 million in government grants. Nice. However, this problem is from California. It's from CA, only 450. This is probably California, only 450,000 federal grants. So California is helping to fund this crap. Yeah, California, you want to know why you're burning? Because your government is funding the people who are setting fire to it. That's why. You want to know why you're burning California? Because your government is paying people to set it on fire. And then say, oh, what can we do? Why is Trump trying to stop these people? Data Republican is such an asset. This section contains grants and contracts from the federal government, including sub-grants, subcontracts, where this organization isn't the prime grantee. These are the two federal grants, both completed. Now moving on to PSLW Web. I look at this, I get a little confused. Not going to kid you. I get a little confused. I'm just sharing what you gave. But that's the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Let's look at where they get their money. The group which printed the signs protest, Party for Socialism and Liberation, is not a nonprofit. They are a literal communist party who works under capitalism to raise money. Finding financials is tricky, but I did find a wiki reference to Answer Coalition. Their platform is closely related to the broader Answer Coalition. Answer Coalition is mentioned on their Wikipedia page to have significant financial overlap. Act now to stop war and end racism. That's Answer. Answer is a group. A group called Act Now to Stop War and End Racism, also known as the International Answer and Answer Coalition. It's tough to find backings on either group as they do not have nonprofit associated with them. Both claim to be funded entirely by members, which is crap. However, I did find a New York Post article claiming that both are funded by billionaire socialist Neville Singer. There you go. Suspected DC Jewish Museum terrorist Elias Rodriguez has links to radical groups funded by socialist multimillionaire Neville Singham. Not Singer, Neville Singham. It's not Singer, it's Singham. I was wondering because Singer sounds like a Jewish name, but Singham does not. He's an American businessman. He's some 75-year-old, 80-year-old dude. Founder of ThoughtWorks and IT Consulting. A Sri Lankan, while his mother was a Cuban. His youth, Singham was a member of the League of Revolutionary Black Workers. Black National, that's Singham right there. He's 80. That might be an old picture, though. Both the PSL and the Answer Coalition are connected to People's Forum, a Manhattan-based nonprofit which is tied to the CCP through funding from Singham. Oh, he's born in 54. Sorry, he's not 81, he's 71. Yeah, that makes more sense. David Wetter, president of Services Employee International Union, California. These are all links being shared by Data Republican that I'm running through here. That's Neville Singham. The SEIU California president got arrested. I researched SEIU's financials, but they're mostly dues backed. Well, these are the different things I was running through. The magical D word, democracy, can't work for us until it includes us. Just who's Neville Singham? China-linked tech tycoon Neville Singham has secret group operatives at Columbia University. Of course. One last word. I know we don't pass on gossip, but a credible source leaked to me that Qatar is heavily involved. However, I haven't made that particular connection yet. All right. Democrats now demanding charges be brought against LAPD officers for using tear gas in a crowd that included a baby. Why did the crowd include a baby? Charge them up for being a retard. Did you see pics of the convenient pallet of bricks? I did see that. Let me pull up more stuff for you here. I did. Thank you for calling that to my attention. So, let me find what I was talking about here. I want to share with you. I need to share this with you because this is classic. Thomas Sowell quotes, which is at Thomas Sowell, has some great quotes, has great clips, great clips. So I want to share this with you real quick. Let's see. Here it is. I want to share this with you. That is Chuck Schumer in 1996. Chuck Schumer in 1996 talking about illegal immigrants.
Thank the gentleman, salute him for his work on this, rise in support of the amendment. First of all, Social Security card is used from one end of America to the other as an identification card right now. Who are we kidding? If you want to pass a law and says it shouldn't be, I would ask the chairman and the distinguished minority member of the Social Security committee to pass that law, but let's admit the truth. Everywhere people go, they're asked for a Social Security card. In fact, one way to prove you're a bona fide person who can have a job is to ask for a driver's license and a Social Security card. This is an anti-fraud amendment. All over where we go, people say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants or others from coming here? And the number one answer we give our constituents is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud. And here, the gentleman from Florida has put together the most effective anti-fraud measure we can find without it changing the actions of the government one bit. and we find all this opposition. Ladies and gentlemen of this chamber, what I worry about is that this bill, which started out with good intentions, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, is going to end up being the same kind of thing that the public gets angry with us on. We say we're doing something, and we do nothing. Because every time someone makes a rational and small proposal to get something done, people say, well, what about this hypothetical, that hypothetical, etc. I urge support of this amendment. If you believe you want to stop fraud in immigration, you have no choice but to support this amendment.
Gentleman's time has expired.
There you go. Talking about how illegal aliens come here to defraud us. Where is that Chuck Schumer? Where is that guy? That's Chuck Schumer of 30 years ago. Where is that guy? So I also was looking up Los Angeles because that was trending. That was trending. Let me share with you what you see when you search up Los Angeles. Just to put this in legalese, people in Los Angeles are violently opposing ICE in their attempt to enforce federal law and deport illegal aliens. 1, engaging in rebellion. 2, against the authority of the United States. 3, giving aid and comfort there too. Geez, if only there was a provision of law labeling such conduct. It is 18 U.S.C. 23A3 rebellion or insurrection. I think the penalty for that could be death. I need to look that up, but I'm pretty sure, as I recall, 18, they say 10 years, but it could be USC 2383. I was just disqualified from holding office for rebellion. Whoever incites, assists, or engages in any rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States, the laws thereof, or gives aid or comfort thereto, shall be fined or under this title in prison not more than 10 years or both, and shall be incapable of holding any office under the United States. And that's a good start. That's a very good start. These people should be out of office. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything from my Rumble people, because I haven't looked in the ghetto in a few minutes. Rizzelli says, Joe, CBP Air and Sea landed a Black Hawk filled guns and ammo, according to ABC 7. Let's check this out. Border Patrol Black Hawk lands in L.A. with dozens of boxes of ammunition and weapons. Nice.
It's a surreal sight. This Black Hawk moved in just in the last few minutes from the Border Patrol, landing at that Homeland Security office on the Paramount side, right next to the Home Depot, and they are unloading this huge helicopter with, I mean, just boxes and boxes, dozens of boxes of ammunitions, less lethal weaponry. You see these tanks with flammable labels on the side, one after another, an entire shipment, as if they were getting ready for some kind of a major battle. I mean, it really has to be said, this is a remarkable sight. In the middle of a suburban street here, where they are just unloading all of these weapons.
They need blasters from Star Wars
and flammable weaponry. So you
I want to see them go choo 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 choo.
There in the parking lot of that Homeland Security office on the other side of the river, where all of this is taking place, and just a few blocks from that Home Depot, and right across the freeway from where that car fire was, just a few blocks away.
By the way, I agree with you. Barb loves Alaska. I voted for this too. That's what she wrote here. I voted for this. Oh, we all did.
And the protesters and sheriff's department had been squaring off. But this site here, at the Homeland Security office of these federal officials unloading dozens of boxes of weapons and ammunition is just...
Oh, it was in Paramount. Barb corrected. It was in Paramount, California, not Plymouth, California. There is no Plymouth, California. I'm tired.
Quite a sight to behold here. Something I really don't recall ever seeing here. Guys, back to you.
Well, there you go. Beautiful.
It's a
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's right. Arm them to the teeth. You start with the rubber bullets. If you have enough manpower and rubber bullets, that should be enough. You start seeing real bloodshed, it always has repercussions. That always has unfortunate repercussions. But getting back to LA, and if you search LA, Los Angeles, after what I've seen in Los Angeles this weekend, the horrible treatment given to our ICE officers who are trying to make their city safe, I agree with Charlie Kirk here, 100. What say you? And he says the Los Angeles Olympics should be canceled. If you can't fill a fire hydrant, you aren't qualified to host the Olympics. Move them to Dallas or Miami so the world's athletes can compete in a place capable of actually safely building and running something. That's logical. You would need to get the agreement from the International Olympic Committee because the sites they pick are based on the ability to host the venue, have enough stadium access and things of that nature. You can't just pick a random city and just move them over there. That's not gonna work. And the IOC, unfortunately, is incredibly liberal. So I don't know that they're gonna want to deprive LA of the opportunity to host the Olympics, but it would be an interesting thing to see happen. That would be a very interesting thing to see happen. This I covered earlier. This was in 2006 in LA when more than 100,000 people, largely illegal aliens, marched for amnesty. George W. Bush was for this. 19 years later, they still haven't assimilated. They attack ICE and our countrymen. They wave a Mexican flag, deport them all. Well, we know who did it, James Lindsay. It was Singham. Let's see what other tax-funded nonprofits. Who's Laura Powell? Mother civil liberties attorney. Truth teller, former leftist, still liberal, politically homeless, Californian who refuses to retreat. Over the past 2 days, ICE agents have conducted targeted operations across the LA region, detaining more than 40 suspected illegal aliens. These enforcement actions triggered large-scale demonstrations, some of which turned confrontational, with reports of vandalism, block traffic, and physical clashes with federal agents. The unrest has prompted questions about who's organizing and funding these protests. One of the organizations at the center of the resistance to ICE is the Coalition for Humane Immigration Rights, CHURLO. Yeah, we're going to have to take CHURLO apart. An LA nonprofit that has long provided legal and advocacy services to illegal aliens. CHURLO is known for radical positions on immigration. For example, it led a campaign to abolish ICE in 2018. Yesterday afternoon, as clashes with federal law enforcement were heating up, CHURLO executive Angelica Salas held a press conference during which she announced that the LA Rapid Response Network's hotline has received more than 50 calls reporting ICE activity and sightings of men in military garb. LARN is organized by a coalition of nonprofits, and CHURLO plays a central role. I don't know what LARN is. Oh, Los Angeles Rapid Response Networks. And using its main phone lines as a hotline number. LARN's hotline is one of the communication systems that allows legal observers, volunteers, and other actors to be quickly dispatched to the scene of immigration enforcement actions. During the remarks, Salas referred to SEIU California President David Huerta as her brother, highlighting CHURLO's close ties to organized labor in California. Huerta had been arrested during one of the protests for blocking the path of an ICE vehicle, as shown by video footage released by U.S. Attorney Bill Escalating. Governor Gavin Newsom expressed his unequivocal support for Huerta, claiming he was only witnessing the action while Escalating announced his intention to file criminal charges. See, because Gavin Newsom is useless. He's an enabler. That's what he is. He's an enabler. He's not just useless. He's a useful idiot. For her part, LA Mayor Karen Bass has defiantly opposed federal immigration enforcement in the city, stating on social media Friday, quote, "We will not stand for this and no vamos a permitir estas acciones." We are not going to permit these actions. She added that her office would collaborate with community-based organizations that serve immigrants. Should throw her in jail. Just throw her in jail for obstructing. Long relationship with Churland bragged last year about obtaining federal funding for Churland's programs. That grant is part of a broader stream of public dollars that the organization receives from government sources. In fact, according to a financial audit submitted to the state, the Churla organization received nearly $34 million in revenue from government contracts during the fiscal year ending June 30, 2023, with 96% of that funding from the state of California. That figure marks a sharp increase in the prior year when we received around $12 million in government contract revenue. Agencies contributing to Churla's funding during this period include the California Department of Social Services, California Arts Council, Governor's Office of Emergency Services. Why the hell they're part of emergency services, God only knows. Department of Homeland Security. What? Notably, as mentioned above, a DHS contract funded Churla to provide citizenship instruction and naturalization services. Yeah, there you go. There's Biden. With $100,000 remaining on Churla's contract, DHS froze the remaining funds in February. Good job. Churla responded by suing. The court denied the motion for the preliminary injunction on May 29th. This is one of the two lawsuits Churla filed against DHS this year. The other was dismissed on lack of standing and is on appeal. Some of how this works. Your tax dollars fund an organization that organizes efforts to directly interfere with the federal government's lawful exercise of authority. Then, through its lobbying arm, that organization helps get Democrats elected to office and who then repay the favor by ensuring increased funding. It's a cycle. This is the nonprofit industrial complex at work. Good job here. I'm going to retweet this. This is good. Good job indeed. Hey, LA Rise, did you know there's a Federal Reserve branch in LA? Nice. Great. There you go. Yeah, this is what I wanted to share with you. This is what was shared with me. These are ICE agents. This is not in Iraq. This is not in the Middle East. This is in LA. What you're about to hear is the sound of rocks hitting their vehicle. Rocks. Yeah, that's LA. Member of LA City Council Eunices Hernandez is down on the ground encouraging rise to escalate per Fox News. Big surprise. Big surprise. Never would have pictured that she looks like that. President Trump has officially taken control of California. National Guard will be deploying thousands of troops in the streets. Let's go.
So these are federal law enforcement officers that are carrying this out. As we see one more person, that person being dragged across the street
thumbnail
for a moment there, being arrested.
But we want to remind folks that viewer discretion is advised.
You see? Viewer discretion, hence the title of this stream, viewer discretion is advised. Even Fox is telling you. You should be watching this channel right here. Let's say it again.
But we want to remind folks that viewer discretion is advised.
Thank you. Thank you, Fox. I appreciate the validation right there.
Oh, yeah. So we're starting to see some of these people being detained by what appears to be federal law enforcement at this point. We believe that these are Border Patrol police that are on scene. So
there you go. California on fire. Here's Los Angeles City Council member Eunice Hernandez calling to escalate the riots. Oh, here we go. There we go. There we go. You're gonna need to get like a cell that's double extra wide for her.
They know how quickly we mobilize. That's why they're changing tactics. Because community defense works, and our resistance has slowed them down before. And if they're escalating their tactics, then so are we. When they show up, we gotta show up even stronger. They know how quickly we mobilize. That's why they're changing tactics.
That could be a little bit difficult for you. That could be a little difficult for you. And they know reporting far-left political violence, arson attacks, and looting are occurring in LA. Leftist militants are engaging in insurrection against the government by trying to shut down deportation of criminal foreign nationals. I saw this. It's craziness. Very quickly. George Bush used insurrection to put down Rodney King. I thought it was Rodney King riots. Los Angeles sheriff deputies are now pelting rioters with exploding munitions. Tear gas is making illegals with their foreign flags retreat. This is how it's done. Oh my. Nice. Nice. Theo World saying, I voted for this reconquering of LA. LA is an American city built by American men, regardless of what government of Mexico or Univision say. The foreign occupation ends this weekend. This is insane. I don't even know what's happening. This is insane. Zoom into Deep Fun, California. You have a recommendation? I'm thinking I want to catch a live. I'm thinking I'm going to do that.
The fascist regime known as the Third Reich
You can give me something on YouTube that could stream snipe. That's cool. All right, let's see if we can find. I'm gonna search YouTube for LA riots. YouTube. It ended 40 minutes ago.
LA, these vans are leaving now. We've learned that this is some sort of manufacturing facility, fashion district in Los Angeles. It's not the first immigration-related or ICE-related raid we've seen from Homeland Security agents, HSI, on their vests. You can, if we were closer on the chopper shot coming in from our News Nation station, KTLA, you would see that on some of the agents. And these white vans, if you were with us a few minutes ago, had come in to the parking lot because the agents had lined up, you know, maybe a couple of dozen people with their hands behind their back, all in handcuffs. Now they're taking them away. And when I say it's not the first time, earlier today in Los Angeles at a Home Depot in the Westlake district, there was a raid and there were arrests made, as we understand it. KTLA reported on that. And now they're showing us pictures of this. So they have armored vehicles. Look at this. They're making their way through the streets. There were a bunch of people, most of them with their phones kind of running.
I'm bored by that.
Coming down here to check out the action, or if they're really not in tune with what's happening and just driving through the area. But it all strikes me as rather odd. We do see a lot of young people walking by, and most of them don't want to talk to me. A few of them had said that they might tell me why they were here, but then when it came time to go on camera, they decided that wasn't a good idea. But in terms of the level of tension now, I would say it's about half of where it was when we talked to you a little bit earlier, and it's not as calm as it was when I talked to you before that. So it just kind of ebbs and flows. People are still milling about. I think the great majority of them are coming here just to check out the scene. Some of them might have been a part of that initial protest. Once again, though, Susan, getting back to social media and just the word gets out, go there, that's what's happening, and people show up, and some of them will roll video on it or, you know, just be reporting live. They all want to be part of the activity, but that's what I can see from my vantage point right now. It's noisy, but it's somewhat peaceful.
It's 11:30 at night.
Yes, indeed. We watched a couple of people go behind you while you were reporting for us, Laura, and one of them had a gimbal and another one had like a selfie stick kind of situation. So you're absolutely right. They were likely going live and broadcasting out a lot of their images. Now, that scene where Laura is and what Justin has been showing you earlier today, the tensions erupted near a Home Depot in Paramount, and the protesters clashed violently with the Border Patrol agents. Here's Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf.
A violent clash in Paramount. Protesters face to face with Border Patrol agents. One side hurling rocks and bottles, the other firing back with pepper spray and rubber bullets. Sources tell Fox 11 Border Patrol agents Saturday morning were here across the street from Home Depot for a staging area, possibly prepping for an immigration raid. Protesters then moved in.
If you think this getting out of hand, I'll control everybody right now.
Local officials speaking with demonstrators.
These are hard-working community members. People are average. That's why I'm here. Because we have to protect community and make sure they have rights like anybody else.
Video obtained exclusively by Fox. Video obtained exclusively by Fox shows federal authorities trying to leave the tense situation,
In other words, he was
taking on rocks and chunks of concrete, at least one agent injured.
All right, so we're seeing agitators throwing items towards members of law enforcement right now, and they're firing right back. It feels like a war zone out here.
No matter where you stand, you know, I don't think anybody wants to see families ripped apart, right?
This man also hurt, hit by a rubber.
I do. I want to see them ripped apart if they're not American citizens. Yeah, rip them apart. 100% I do. Rip them apart. I do. To make me a bad person. You tagged me in a couple of episodes. Let me see what you tagged. Oh, I've been tagged in. This is what I was tagged in. Let's see what we got here.
They're there to restore order. Anyone who looks at the scene on your TV, look at that. It's out of control. What normal person, what member of the public feels comfortable being in downtown LA right now? Nobody. So I don't know what he's talking about. He needs to watch the TV and see what's going on. It's out of control. And since he can't control the state, he can't control the lawlessness.
That's what I figured.
And that's what the president's doing. He's deploying the National Guard.
Thank you,
Keith. We will have order in the city of Los Angeles.
Well, to continue on that
front. What's out of control is the response by the agitators. And I will tell you, they appear to be highly coordinated and sophisticated. We saw union activists and organizers be involved in these efforts to resist our operations. So there's something going on here where you have this sophisticated resistance that's being mounted against the federal government. And we're looking into that. And we're going to look at who the leaders of those operations are. But
that's where you need to go.
We didn't cause this. I mean, this reaction.
That's where you need to go.
Enforcing the law as written. We're not doing anything crazy or draconian. We're going to a judge. We're getting search warrants. We're getting arrest warrants. We're going to immigration court. We're enforcing immigration laws. If they don't like it, they should talk to Congress. Congress writes the laws. We enforce the law.
All right, let's see what else he tagged me in here. Riot police in LA rained hell on rioters outside the ICE facility. Uh-oh.
They're coming out.
They're coming out. Oh no! Hey! Oh! Oh man! Still want to be hanging out outside ICE? Oh no! Oh, that's gotta stink. Oh! 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 I like this idea of people tagging me. I want cops from the early 60s, yeah. Seriously. Thank you for sharing those, Keith. Oh yeah, that was my first comment on this. I don't think Trump needs to send the National Guard to stop California unrest. Just put an embargo on soy milk and wait them out. I was corrected that now it's oat milk, it's not soy milk. But yeah. All right. Should I check out what's going on in New York? I haven't looked in New York at all. Let's see. New York riots. All right, this is what we get for New York riots. Breaking. Chaos erupts in New York City amid nationwide protests targeting ICE. A failed de-arrest attempt adds to the unrest as radical demonstrators clash with authorities. Let's check this out. This is in New York.
Why are you arresting her?
What's her name? What's her name?
I don't think they care. Yeah, that's kind of the point.
I'm saying that because it's what's true.
Thank you so much. She's on the fucking sidewalk. Why are you arresting her?
Uh-oh.
You can't put two fingers in her wrist.
It was. LA scans, which actively assists in the rights of the doxing of ICE FBI. That's August 5th, 2023. Invaders and race-cut commies riot in defiance of recent New York City ICE raids.
Wait a minute. Jesus.
What is this? What do I have some Nazi? What do I have? Just another. What the heck? Oh, he's a parody account. Yeah, I'm gonna skip past that. We're skipping past that. I'm not a fan of Nancy's. That's March 30th. You gotta check your dates out. So New York City is not quite as bad as apparently as what's going on in LA. When I search New York riots, let's check New York ICE. You gonna give me snow stuff? You gonna give me something? Justin and NYPD are going hard against anti-ICE protesters in New York City, including dragging them to the ground and arresting them.
Why are you pushing her? You're right.
I gotta figure out where this is. Gotta figure out where this is. Could be down. Brooklyn.
You're a fucking coward. Are you okay? Take a step back. What is the reason for your arrest? Give me another. He's on the sidewalk. He's on the sidewalk.
Can we interest you in this though?
You're hurting me. You're hurting me.
Oh, that's another angle of the same hurting me people. Yeah, no one has sympathy for you being hurt. I think this is just an alternate angle of the same thing. What's the point of Palantir if it can't control this? What do you mean? What's Palantir? Palantir. I don't know what Palantir is. Should I know what that is? Palantir. I don't get it. I don't get it, John, I don't get it. Palantir Technologies? Software platforms? Big. Oh, Trump tapping Palantir to compile data on Americans. I'm seeing this. Maybe it's to help actually find folks and get them arrested. That's what I would think. You sort of need them to like step out of line and then squash them. That's what I would think. That's what I would think. Anyhow, I had a few more links I wanted to share with you. Coming back to LA here. Let me pull that up real fast before I get on out of here. I also had searched up the Insurrection Act to see what people were saying, because that was also trending. That was also trending. So let me share that with you here. A lot of people are talking about how 1992, after the Rodney King riots, we invoked the Insurrection Act. I covered this earlier. President Donald Trump can should immediately use the Insurrection Act in LA. There's a historic precedent. It could be either at the request of the governor, which you're not going to get, or when insurrection makes it impracticable to enforce federal law. What do you call it when military-aged males wave flags of a foreign country and light things on fire while fighting law enforcement? That's what insurrection is. President Trump should invoke the Insurrection Act and put an end to this chaos in California. What the heck is this? Excuse me. Looks like it takes a long time to do much. This is when they gather around the federal detention center in LA. I don't think
I'm Giovanna Lotta. You're taking a live look at one of the protests underway in Los Angeles.
This is what gets you a National
after
Guard.
Mass immigration raids. Chris Christie is live in Air 7 with the latest.
This is why you have it.
That's right, Giovanna. It's a major protest going on about 2 hours now. Close to 1,000 people now wrapping around the detention facility between Alameda and Los Angeles Street. They started on the front steps of the federal building at 300 Los Angeles, now marching down Aliso. In the lead there is that cattle truck leading the pack as they make the turn onto Alameda Street. The strategy here is to basically encircle the detention facility, which is that building right there, where we understand there are actually some people inside of the building.
I'm Giovanna Lotta. You're taking a
smoke grenade that they could be, and that is, there's some sort of smoke grenade that's been placed inside of that vehicle. Something is smoking. That's dark smoke inside that vehicle. So we very well may be seeing the start of a vehicle fire, and it looks like we are. This thing is lighting up, and that's pretty much, police are going to have, presumably, fire crews are going to have to presumably move in and take control of this situation as it gets even more dangerous. Again, this is the intersection of Alondra Boulevard and Atlantic Avenue in Compton, California. Dale's Donuts is that big donut on your screen. And this vehicle fire, this fire is taking off. This, again, we're seeing this in real time. And we have no idea how this started, why this started.
You know why it started? You know why it started? Because they're lunatics.
So that we can hear.
You know why? We all know why.
How close our ground crews are.
Breaking protesters' rioters are clashing with riot police amid an ICE raid taking place at a Home Depot as they deploy tear gas and flashbangs.
Watch out, he's shooting! Shooting!
I want to get those pallets. Some people went over at Palantir and said it was a lie. This is when they were attempting to break into the immigration center in LA. Wow. They're really insane. Where was the I want to get that motorcycle helmet guy. I think Bongino put out a tweet. Was it Jim who sent it to me? I think Jim sent it to me. Oh. So craziness happening, huh? Palantir creating mass blackmail database on all Americans. Oh, this is stupid cock. Let's see. Yeah, this guy is a moron, Brian Allen. It literally says, like, when I say moron, I mean he actually says a lot of very stupid things in an attempt to gaslight. He'll just ignore reality and just spit whatever he thinks is anti-Trump. Yeah, that's what makes an insurrection, doofus. Let's be clear, over 800 protesters cornered federal agents in a garage, breached the government building, and caused widespread damage. This isn't just chaos, it's a full-blown standoff. It's not a standoff, it's an insurrection. When you're trying to go into a federal building, moron. Allen analysis. Allen analysis.
Comes, I'm going to punch him out. This is my...
What? I don't remember seeing this. This is from January 6th. This is nuts bit.
They have dissuaded him from coming to Capitol Hill. They told him they don't have the resources to protect him here. So at the moment he is not coming, but that could change.
Oh, he comes, I'm going to punch him out. This is my
no,
moment.
I would pay to see that.
I'm waiting for this, for trespassing on the Capitol grounds. I'm going to punch him out and I'm going to go to jail and I'm going to be happy.
Yeah, because she wanted January 6th so bad. She wanted it so bad. This is what I'm saying. The same thing that this cadaver guy was saying. This is perfect. This is so good. I want to appreciate how good this moment is now, because this just gives him free reign to do what he needs to do to clean out California. Starting with the hotbed of illegal aliens in LA. This is exactly what we needed. This is perfect. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like anyone's died. So no one's died. I'm not looking for people to die. I think it's better. This is perfect. This is so perfect. Wow. Every way possible. This is perfect. No one's died. And we're able to bring in the National Guard and start actually removing some of these people. The vehicle that was torched was a stolen vehicle. Oh, okay. Of course it was. The guy hammering the concrete post in the video showed did it to use the pieces to throw at officers. Ah. No need to rip families apart. Ship them out together. That's what I voted for. That's right. Adios, amigos. Adios, amigos. That's from Barb Loves Alaska. All right. I think I'm going to start winding down now. Amen. I'm going to give you something funny to leave on. Let me give you something funny. I have a whole bunch of funny videos I'm sort of having stored away that I was getting tonight. I was having a good time tonight. Let me give you something funny a fun note to leave on. I want to give you something funny. Let me give you something funny. Yeah, since we're focusing on California, I think this is a good one to finish with. All right. We're going to close with this. The least interesting woman in the world.
Ukraine is a clothing brand.
The least interesting woman in the world. This is great. Over here.
She calls America evil. From her iPhone while sipping Starbucks, on an airplane, with Wi-Fi, while watching TV. She drinks oat milk because regular milk makes her feel colonial. She got 8 COVID shots, still caught it, and blamed the unvaccinated waiter. She has a Ukraine flag in her bio. She thinks Ukraine is a clothing brand. She says Black Lives Matter, but still clutches her bag in certain neighborhoods. She used to be vegan, now she's carnivore. Depends on who she's dating. She thinks all cops are bad, then called the cops because someone wasn't wearing a mask. She says she's a feminist until she needs a jar opened. She says, trust the science, but thinks there's more than 2 genders. She got the booster, then posted a selfie with doing my part while spreading COVID in Tulum. She drinks ayahuasca for trauma she invented last year. She says she hates capitalism, but charges $499 for Zoom breathwork. She posts about toxic masculinity from her ex's apartment.
She is the least interesting woman in the world. That's what I got for you tonight. I will remind you that I don't know what kind of meat she was eating there in that little clip, but it certainly shouldn't be lab meat if you're eating it, because lab meat is not meant for you. It's not even meant for her or for him. It's meant for they, them. That's who it's meant for. And do not ever think about eating the bugs. They want you to eat the bugs. It's all them freaks in California who are just like setting fire to ice. And that never works. Setting fire to ice has never worked before. I don't think it's going to work now. Anyhow, I thank you all for joining me. I would expect to be back here, God willing, tomorrow evening. Until then, I also hope to be dropping a video. Yes, dropping a video of Kid Cudi's testimony. I'm going to be working on that for hours tomorrow. But I'm going to have his voice, so you'll be able to hear what it sounded like when he testified. Ooh, I like it. Yes, it's going to be great. So hopefully that'll be tomorrow. I'm definitely planning on streaming tomorrow evening. Until then, take care of yourselves. And as always, Godspeed. Like, share, subscribe, drop a comment. Do all that.